StuCube did something that I think is incredible, and I will attempt to explain why. First of all, let's just take a look.
818 days ago, Timon Koleshinsky had one of the biggest what-if moments in cubing history. It wasn't just a guess with a ton of stipulations as to how he could have gotten the 3x3 world record average or something of the like. It was rather a fact that without a +2 on his third solve of this average in February of 2022, he would have achieved not only the second sub-4 3x3 solve we had seen up to that point.
First of all, that hurts. That hurts. I know that hurts. Not because I've had a 3 with a +2, but my first sub 20, which I'd worked quite hard to get, my first ever sub 20 was a 19, and I +2'd it. Absolutely furious.
Also the world's first sub 5 average. He was just a couple of degrees away from a 3.75 second solve. Still, to this day, the fastest +2 we've ever seen. His average without the +2? 4.74. A number so inconceivable at that point in time that the 5.15 average he ended up getting when counting the +2.
So I just wanna butt in at this point, and I'm gonna say, what are we looking at, everyone? What are we looking at here in content terms, right? What are we looking at? We're looking at StuCube telling us an awesome story, right? That's what's happening. We're being told an awesome story. Let's continue.
The second fastest average ever done in competition.
Full of jeopardy, full of tension.
Done just months prior. But now in May of 2024, 818 days later, 50 competitions after his last close call at what once seemed impossible, he got it back. On Sunday, Timon didn't just get back his 474, but he did it in a way that makes cubing seem more like chess than just a race to see who can spin their Gan12, UV, Maglev, ball core the fastest. Because it seems as though absolutely everything in this average is calculated throughout the first 3 solves.
Oh, we're seeing some things. What's happening now? Is this still a story? StuCube, I would say, is quite high level in terms of like understanding what is happening with the cube, in terms of understanding the solve and breaking down that stuff.
A 20 move F12 done in just 2.1 seconds is the best way to start an average.
And then what happens here with an incredible storytelling video.
I'm going to be showing the solve on what Timon actually.
And now I'm watching a reconstruction, and this is genuinely what happened to me. I started watching this video thinking, yo, cool. All right, tell me a story, Stu. Tell me a story. And then all of a sudden, it took me a while to realize I was watching a reconstruction. And I thought, hot dang, this man just reeled me into watching a reconstruction, which I would never ever watch, right? Because I just am not accomplished enough as a cuber to really get the full point or benefit out of a reconstruction. And that's not to say that you shouldn't make reconstructions. Of course you should. But I just thought it was really, really interesting how our man StuCube here has essentially broken the format, right? Because he started off telling a story in his sort of very cinematic, very well put together style that he does. And then all of a sudden we're watching a reconstruction. I thought it was great. I thought it was really, really good. And then he got the best thing that can possibly happen to anyone making a reconstruction video is a comment from Timon. So that's good. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Oh, there's me too, fanboying out and asking for permission to watch it. So what are the chapters in this? Because so we started with an intro, there's a breakdown, an intro to solve 5. Then so there's a little bit more storytelling
at this point, after counting a low
before we get to the solve 5. And it's incredible. YouTube is about storytelling, right? Decent videos are about storytelling. People will try and tell you they're all about editing, but they're about storytelling primarily, in my opinion. And I think extracting the story out of these numbers essentially is really, really quite impressive. No, you didn't. No, Stu in the chat saying sorry for video baiting you. No, it was a bit of a switch, but I didn't hate it. It was just like I just had this realization that I was just like, wait a minute, this is a reconstruction, and I thought that was super cool. Because the thing is, Stu, right? Just between you and me, everyone, don't listen for a second. We know how YouTube works. If you had called it Timon average of 5 reconstruction, I would never ever have clicked on it. Never. But the fact is, I did, and I watched way longer than the 30 seconds that YouTube's excited about, right? And then I watched the whole thing, and I would never have even considered it. I would never have considered it. So the important stuff, I clicked on it. I watched the intro, then I watched the whole thing, and then I wasn't mad about it, you know? That's all big stuff. What's going on in the chat? He's a cuber. I think I just subscribed to you. Someone said I should subscribe to you in one of my posts recently. So hello, welcome. StuCube deserved 1 million subs, is someone else, Dauntless is saying. Yeah, if Stu keeps cooking, he's gonna get so many subs. How many are we looking at? 17k so far. Cublog glaze, yeah, fully glazed. But yeah, not Dauntless cubing as well, saying yeah, not video baiting, just good content. James earlier up in the chat was saying the classic. Now I don't know if this is a New Zealand thing or if this happens to other, specifically younger people, but I run a cube club once a month here in Christchurch, right? And all the most common thing I hear is, can I have a free cube? Can I be sponsored? But that's part and parcel of owning a store. The second most common thing I hear are people's stories about how they +2'd out of X. People love to tell those stories. That's a thing. But yeah, and I don't know if that's a particularly New Zealand thing or if that's global, right? Dauntless hit the subscribe button and got the thing to happen on screen. James, definitely not just a New Zealand thing. Alex saying, I don't know, feels like a little kid thing as an American. StuCube, yeah, I guess the BPA without the +2 is just for the added story. Ow, I get it. It made the story. James, it's pretty silly when it's in the start or the middle of the average and it puts you in a completely different mindset. Yes, StuCube. And that's it. That's the drama, is when the +2, when the adversity happens, when the tension builds halfway through the story. It's your story arc. I think of your average of 5 as a story frame. You need your intro. Everything's good. Then we need tension. Then we need the I don't know. I didn't go to film school. I went to music school. But you need your device, your adversity that has to be overcome before you can have the awesome ending. And I guess you can think of your average of 5 as a story, but then you can think of, in this case, Timon's 50 competitions as a story. And that's what StuCube's done. And that's why I think StuCube is goated as a creator, because he can tell stories. And if you can't tell stories, you're cooked. My opinion. Let's ask 8ball. Will StuCube get 1 million subs? Let's find out. Oh, the outlook is good. 8ball says you're going to get 1 million subs, Stu. I don't know when. I wasn't specific with 8ball on that one. I tell you what, do you guys want to play with 8ball while I just have a very brief muck around with Discord here, okay? Because I need to see if I can download all of these things. This is the content that everyone came for, was to see me right-clicking and saving a dozen images.